So here is Sharpie at the American Eventing Championships in Lexington, Kentucky. And they did put the dressage rings in the big Rolex arena, which was really neat. Now, Sharpie has been in here before because of the RRP. And Sharpie is such a worker. He was very focused, coming across the diagonal now for our lengthened trot. It's still a little hurried. It's not supposed to change in rhythm. It's just supposed to change in length, but gradually that movement is getting better and better. And now we are doing our leg yield to the right. I actually had a lot of fun riding him in this dressage test because, again, he's really kind of no muss, no fuss, very workmanlike. Picked up his left lead canter. Now going for a medium. I could have made this a little bit different. So I needed to really increase the medium in the length and the stride of the canter and then shown a difference, but he felt really relaxed and really good. I just needed to show a little bit bigger difference to get a bigger mark. Now for our counter canter loop. Did that fairly well. And cross the diagonal now for our canter transition at X. Simple change of lead. It took me maybe 2 trot strides more than I would have liked. I had to make sure I rebalanced him to get the correct lead. And now we're again in a medium canter on the 20-meter circle. This way felt a little bit better, showing a little bit more of a difference. And now our counter canter loop, trying to make sure I keep up the energy. Is really funny because I actually felt like I was having to really push and to kick him in the dressage ring, which is quite a different feel from a lot of my other horses, aka Johnny. Now across the diagonal to trot at X. And I'm just really happy with how he is starting to progress in his movement. And now into our halt, which, he rested that hind leg, which really kind of hurt that halt score. But he backed up pretty obediently. And now we are in our walk. Again, apologize for the movement in the camera. And now our free walk. He has a really good free walk where he really oversteps. I was just working on trying to keep his focus. And now shorten the reins to shorten up the frame, but keeping the walk the same activity. Preparing for a trot transition at F. And now down the center line. I chose to do the sitting trot for this test as it seemed to help keep him more secure the whole time. This, you can choose to do rising or sitting for this test. And now I'm preparing him for our stretchy serpentine trot. I do this rising trot, help open and free the back. And he does a really good job of stretching and reaching out, a little bit different than Munson, you can tell. I thought he should have been scored a little bit better than what they gave him. And then gather up my reins, back to sitting. Down the center line now for our halt. And again, I was really happy with the test. He felt really good and really professional. Very proud of Sharpie. Now moving on to our cross country. We had just come from the first water where, in fact, we had a run out at the Chevron where I just rode him a little bit too forward. But he is feeling pretty keen now. I have to make sure I get him back a little bit here with this drop down into water. And we had to make a hard left, come up on the mound, which he was kind of like, oh my goodness, there's a hill there. So I have to remember Sharpie is still pretty green at this level, and he's still learning and gaining that experience. So heading up to the bounce bank, making sure I have him collected together. He powers up over that bank really well. And then we head into the backfield to our third water, which he did pretty well. Again, he's really bold. It's just I have to now give him the time to start to understand the questions. So now we have, that was a bending 5 stride I did to that corner for months, and I actually ended up doing that in 4 strides. But I wanted to make sure Sharpie could see the corner to understand it. And now coming to the angled 2 stride, which again I need to take the time to set him up so he can see the line. So I wanted to make sure I didn't make a mistake like I had done earlier at the very first water. And sometimes he just can still get underneath it. Again, he's so brave. I always have to try to keep him in the balance and make him wait a little bit on the hind leg. He steps right over the coffin, no problem. And then over the corner. And then I let him kind of cruise on a little bit and open up some. He's such a quick horse. It was just fun to let him have a good gallop. And we ended up having a couple more penalties than I would have liked, but it was a good learning experience for him.
Here's 173. Coming forward now, Elisa Wallace. And Sharp Decision of 173.
Now on to show jump with Sharpie. This phase has kind of been one of his toughest phases that he's struggled in a little bit. So just really been working on playing with some different things, and found that he really likes me to ride him just a little bit different, where he wants me to float him the rein. So I soften the rein to him right before the fence. And of course, he missed his lead change right there, but he is doing a really good job of kind of staying off the fence and jumping up and around. I have to make sure he gets his lead change for this coming to the combination 1 stride. Trot a little long. And Sharpie can be tough because he is so sensitive, so you have to be really still with your body. Really quiet to the fences. And here, he jumped really good behind, and I thought I was going to fall off for a second. So I had to make sure I get back to being organized and back to being soft and quiet. He jumps up and around the Liverpool, and I'm just really happy with how kind of professional he's being through this. Coming to this last oxer of this line, and it was just too bad. He just flattened out just a little bit behind. And coming to the triple, we've got to balance and then make sure I soften and trying to stay quiet. Again, I was really happy. It was too bad we had the 1 rail, but it was a big change in how he went around that ring, and was really proud of his class.